What is up, everybody? Greetings. Happy Wednesday. All buckled up and ready for more Games Bond action. Lord Nico Jazz, first of all, thank you very, very much for your immense, unreasonably immense, and continual support. 30 months of tier 3 horrors. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Which, by the way, I'm just realizing well, we'll get to that soon enough. We're going to check in on the Q branch funding status because that's going to kick that up a significant notch. We are going to check in on that because we are, of course, playing some Bond video games, or at least one. Space Hovercopter, NPC, why not? Welcome, welcome, lurkers in chat, VOD viewers, and everybody else too. Welcome, and hope you're all doing well. Running a little bit late tonight because I had some last minute kind of work stuff crop up that I had to take care of. I wasn't able to prepare much of anything, but we're here and we're gonna be ready to go soon enough. I'm so like out of it that I don't even know if there's any other important housekeeping type stuff to even go over. I don't know. I feel like my life's just been super hectic over the past couple of weeks between, I don't know, doing a lot of streams, work stuff, and other, I don't know. It's just crazy. But we're here, and hopefully things will work, and we're going to be able to play License to Kill. I guess we talked about it briefly on Monday stream, because we did watch the movie on Saturday, and it was really, really good. I'm excited to see how the game, well, I shouldn't say lives up to it, but to what extent the game manages to capture the tone, the vibes of the film, but also, you know, specific scenes, moments, characters, what have you. Like, what elements of the film the game successfully manages to incorporate. Good to feel busy? Well, yes and no, I think. I mean, it's to a certain degree, I guess you might say. Obviously, I mean, I do agree that having stuff to do and feeling fulfilled in doing stuff, that's fine. That's all good. But I don't know, I've just been feeling like I don't have time, like anytime, like last night, I feel like every time I have an evening or a weekend day or whatever, just to myself with nothing going on, I inevitably just do absolutely nothing. Like, I play some video games, but I always have all these things that I would like to do, whether it's like preparing stream stuff, whether it's working on art stuff, whether it's anything else, and I just feel like kind of drained. I don't know, but I am finally getting back into some kind of exercise regimen, which I'm sure will help with that a little bit. But it's just been a little stressful to kind of feel that it's not that I can't keep up with everything I have to do, but I have limited energy to do anything else once I've kind of checked off all those obligations. And I feel like I'm regressing a little bit with that kind of stuff. Like, I made a lot of very significant lifestyle changes over the past couple of years in an effort to improve my health, and it has been very successful in as far as, you know, just feeling better in general, and like feeling like I have more time and energy and inclination to get stuff done. And I think over the past couple of months, I've fallen off pretty hard on some of those habits, and I feel like I'm kind of what's the opposite of reaping the rewards? I'm feeling the consequences of that now. Hey, what's up, Sword Fam? Greetings, Megami Infinite D. Welcome, welcome, everybody. In any case, I'm doing all right. It's nothing to like whine too much about. It's not why we're here. But I'm feeling a little, I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding a better balance of feeling like excited about working on stuff, as opposed to like I have time over now. There's all this stuff I would like to work on, stuff I would like to do, but I'm just not feeling it. So I don't know. I guess, you know, there's stress, work type stuff, and other things that sort of contribute to all that. I guess. Oh boy, I mean, we might be in for it now. I'm gonna try to not get too overly in the weeds on this, but as far as like updates and what's going on, and spending my days off, so to speak, my nights off when I'm not streaming, when I'm not doing other stuff, playing video games. And I did actually yesterday finish Gotham Knights finally, and man, that I didn't see it coming. I was like really caught off guard when I finished the game. I mean, it wasn't like the credits came up and I was shocked, but basically by the time I was heading into the final boss encounter, I was like, wait, this has to be the final boss, right? Like, is the game over already? I mean, not that I wanted it to go on longer necessarily, but I was just surprised at how, even though I'd already done some research on like how long the game is or whatever, but just in playing it, I feel like a lot of my experience, a lot of the time I spent playing Gotham Knights was just kind of waiting for the, you know, it's like you're listening to a song that has like a really long plotting intro, and then eventually it just like really kicks in and you're like, yeah, all right. But then sometimes you listen to a song, you hear that's like kind of slow, boring-ish intro, and you're just waiting for the song to start, and then eventually the song ends, and it just never reached that, like, oh, it was just a slow, boring, bad song. That's kind of how I felt about Gotham Knights. You're just kind of, it's establishing things that seem like they could turn out to be something interesting, or it's like, well, this is cool whenever they drop the rest of this, and then there is no rest of it. And it's just really baffling because it's such a, as I've said when we talked about it before, like it's a game that it has like tortured development process written all over it. But I'm still surprised at how little there is in the game, how little there is to it for the kind of game it is, and for how long it took to make, and like comparing it to, you know, Arkham Origins that the same studio did prior to this, like, because it seems like it's going to be this big sort of live service, online multiplayer, loot, grindy kind of game, but then it really isn't. But it also kind of just feels exhaustingly huge, like a lot of AAA games do nowadays. But then at the end of the day, there really isn't that much. It isn't very huge. Like, there's the open world city, but outside of running around doing nothing in the city because there isn't much to do, there isn't much to see or do elsewhere either. There's like not a lot of sort of side story type stuff. There's like a shockingly small amount of villains and other characters who even show up in the game in any capacity. And I don't know if it's going to be like, did they intend to save a lot of that stuff for like post-launch raids or whatever, or was that maybe the plan at some point in history when the game was more of that kind of game? No idea. But it's really weird. It's like, not even comparing it specifically to any of the Arkham games, but just like any kind of Batman game ever, I feel like, makes a pretty large effort to like bring in a lot of characters and a lot of like part of that universe into the game. And Gotham Knights feels like weirdly, conspicuously conservative in that regard. And it's a shame because I think the characters that do show up are kind of like, they're well done. And I was excited when I got to like the Harley Quinn like side quest mission, whatever. I was excited when I got to and there's like one with Mr. Freeze, there's one with Clayface. And I was like, oh man, this is pretty sick. Like, oh, I'm excited to see what villains we're going to see for these kind of side mission things. But then it turns out it's literally just those three, and then that's it. And as far as the main story goes, those villains don't really intersect with the main story at all. And the main story doesn't like bring in a bunch of other villains either. And I don't know, I was really baffled by how kind of small in scope it felt, especially in some ways when you consider that the plot, without going into details, like it has to do with these kind of grand conspiracies and I don't know. It's weird how like it's not just not very successful at the kind of game it sort of pitches itself as, but it's also, I guess, in just a much larger degree than I expected, also failing to be what you like. You know, it's like they sacrifice a lot of what you might expect it to have been if it had been a sort of Arkham-esque game. But at the end of the day, what they gained in that trade-off was like nothing, which is extremely strange. The game is completely unrelated to the Arkham games in terms of narrative and continuity. It's not set in the same universe at all. But the upcoming Suicide Squad game from Rocksteady is supposed to be in that same universe, from my understanding. But that's kind of like, but it's loose enough, like with any of these things, that you could, if you wanted it to, you could probably pretend that it's in the same continuity. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it makes no difference whatsoever. Like the tone of certain things is maybe a little bit different, but it's, like I said, I feel like it's close enough if you would have wanted it to be. But probably like the way the timelines of certain characters and stuff, like it probably doesn't line up. But like I said, it's not even, it's not necessarily that it fails at being as good of a game as those games, or as good at that kind of game. It's just that, like, well, you look at it and you say, okay, well, it's got weaker storytelling because it's this online multiplayer thing. But then the online multiplayer stuff is like barely part of the game, and it's not, doesn't, when you play it, it feels like it's just a single player RPG action-y kind of thing. Which you can do to some limited degree co-op. I think they just now launched, there was something that like showed up on the map that hadn't been there previously, that I think is supposed to be the equivalent to the kind of raid thing, the thing you can do with 4-player online. Because the story co-op is just 2 players. But it's weird because, like, it feels like one of the things that I found really weird about the whole game is you can play as 4 different characters, right? And you can toggle anytime you go to the HQ, you can swap to another character. And every character, like every story cutscene, can happen with any of your playable characters. And you have dialogue during missions, I guess, when like your character is like on the radio with the others. So it's like they created 4 permutations of every dialogue scene, essentially, which is like a shit ton of work, but for no reason. I feel like there's no gain to that. Like, you could easily play that game, pick one character, never swap character, and as far as your experience goes, like, this is just a Nightwing game, or a Batgirl game, or a Red Hood game. And that seems like such a strange way to incorporate, like, the idea of a team working together. Like, yeah, you can see it from any one character's perspective. You can swap around like I did constantly every time I got a chance. But there are no scenes, like, aside from, I guess, the opening, there are no scenes where the characters interact outside of the HQ. And that feels like a weird thing. Like, if you want to have this game about these characters coming together and sort of developing as a team, and like, it's a strange missed opportunity that they only ever interact when, like, in their civilian clothes, in their hideout. It's kind of weird. Not having Batman be present is the least of the game's problems, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I think you could absolutely do an interesting story, a different, you know, a take. Like, the characters themselves are fine. I do think it's it's very heavy-handed and, like, tiresome how literally every interaction between the main characters hinges entirely on, like, trying to live up to Batman's legacy, and like, oh man, I wonder if Bruce would be proud or whatever. Like, of course it makes sense that the characters would be very preoccupied with those kind of thoughts, but it doesn't make for an interesting, in my opinion, it doesn't make for an interesting, like, depiction of a character to have them center their own existence around this other person who's not present. Everything, like, it's it's kind of like how the Joker is very overbearingly, like, present and exerting unreasonable amounts of influence over the storyline as well as the tone and everything else in stuff like Arkham City and Arkham Knight. I mean, it's kind of especially funny in Arkham Knight when literally the Joker is dead. He's no longer around, and yet he's like the character that's like around the most. But to their credit, they actually I've never been a big fan of the Joker in the Arkham games, the Rocksteady games, but I think in Arkham Knight, despite the like contrivedness of actually having him there, they actually did something pretty good with it for the most part. I think the ending kind of sucks, but that's true of all the Rocksteady games. I mean, yeah, I think it's like having that be a plot element makes sense. It would be weird if it's like completely ignored. But it gets to be a very repetitive story beat and emotional beat that never gets more kind of interesting. And that's like really, it never goes anywhere from there. Like by the end of the game, it feels like that aspect of it feels exactly the same as it does in the opening of the game. And that's like, there's no journey there. There's nothing interesting happening. There's no development. I mean, yeah, of course, D, it's subjective, but I'm just wanting to clarify that from my point of view, my complaint is not that Batman's not there. But I do think none of the characters are nearly as fun as Batman, or any character really in the Arkham games, just on account of the abilities you have. Like, eventually you unlock, like, unique traversal mechanics for each character, and none of them are very fun. Like, Batgirl does get gliding, but it feels like shit. Like, it's really not very good at all. Like, it has the same kind of controls as the Arkham gliding, but it doesn't work. Like, you're supposedly you can kind of do the Super Mario World, like, diving and swooping back up, but, like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't work well. And hers is, like, by far the most interesting of those, like, traversal mechanics. But there's no gadgets. There's no, like, the only thing you can do is attack and use combat abilities, and none of that is ever used outside of combat, so you can never use those things to, like, solve puzzles or explore or find secrets or anything like that. I don't know. I guess I was kind of hoping that there would be enough about the game that I enjoyed to sort of come around on it to some degree, but I think it's kind of the opposite. After finishing it, I'm like, man, I'm realizing how much of my you know, trepidatiously but still somewhat optimistic thoughts on the game were hinging on the hope of something more materializing eventually, and it just never did. And I'm like, oh man, there really is nothing to that game. So anyway, hopefully that's the last we've heard about that game on the stream. I'm still contemplating writing an article about it, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's definitely enough about that. Let's get to some Bond. Tonight we are embarking on the next leg of our journey, which is mission number 7, 007 License to Kill. And I've learned my lesson. We are going to attempt to collect some data ahead of time by studying instructions and whatnot to see if we can improve our odds of having a smooth experience playing the game and not have too many terrible surprises. As I mentioned, I did not have a ton of time of preparing stuff, so we're kind of going in blind here, making sure, or not having made sure, rather, that everything works and everything, but it should hopefully be fine. We might have to do a little bit of troubleshooting or trial and error to get some of these computer versions running, but it should be all right. But we'll get there. This game was developed by Quixel with a few other companies, I think, involved in some of the ports. Quixel are credited for the design of the game, and I believe, as far as I've been able to decipher the credits I've been able to find for this, various like different programmers still credited under Quixel developing each different port. So that's the best information I've been able to gather. Published again, of course, by Domark. This game was released on the Amiga, the Atari ST, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC, MS-DOS, MSX. I believe there is a ZX Spectrum port. See if I can check my database here. Yes, and also a BBC Micro version. So there's a lot of versions of this. I think we're going to try to attempt to take a look at most of them, at least enough of them that are like distinct from one another. Having not had time to really do any research, I'm going to make the bold assumption that the Amiga version is probably going to be the kind of premier version of the game. I think that is usually the case when you're looking at stuff around this time or on these kind of platforms. Sometimes, you know, with Live and Let Die, the Amiga version, I think, looked the most fancy. And at the end of the day, was maybe the best version. But the C64 and CPC versions definitely had unique qualities to them that made them, at the very least, worth checking out. I think the DOS version is basically going to be a jankier, uglier, horrible sounding version of the Amiga game, most likely. Atari ST often is either identical to the Amiga or kind of like slightly worse running. The C64 one, I think, is the one that has the most likelihood of being something that is distinct but also good in its own right. We're gonna try and start with the Amiga version, depending on how that goes. Maybe we'll take a look at the C64 or maybe some other version tonight. But I think, as we've done with some of these previous games, we're probably not gonna go sightseeing too wildly in between all these different versions to begin with. We'll probably stick more with one version and kind of try to get accustomed to it. And then we'll see if, as is usually the case, I kind of give up trying to beat a game and then we move on to other versions. There is a hypothetical scenario in which we complete the Amiga version, but then we're still gonna check out the other versions and you know, see how it all compares. We'll see. We'll see. License to Kill is a multi-level, multi-role game. You take the controls of helicopters, boats, and tankers, perform some death-defying parachute stunts, and take to the seas for a spot of barefoot water skiing. These are things that largely do appear in the movie, so that's going to be interesting to see how that pigs out. A steady aim and steady fire is needed. Shoot from the hip and take out the baddies. It's action-packed and closely follows the latest adventure of the world's best-kept secret agent in the brand new and most exciting movie of them all. It's pretty accurate. It's a very exciting movie. Now, as I said, I have, in an attempt to not get caught off guard by confusing mechanics or other weird shit, prepared some materials here for us to study and get a better idea of how the game functions. We might also see some interesting artwork or what have you. So let's take a quick look here. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look here. So, now I am perplexed. Because the funding status was, or should have been, at 14,000 at the start of the stream. After which, we had a tier 3 sub, which I seemingly has not had any effect. There's always technical issues here. In any case, if you're not familiar with what we're looking at here, the Q Branch Research Funding Initiative is our way to unlock secret, hidden, extra missions, additional games to be added to the Games Bond list. And once we have received enough funding by ways of subscriptions, bits, donations, etc., we will add a game to the list. Now, let me see here if... Wait, hang on. Wait. Like, why can I not test this? What's going on? Yeah, I'm in StreamerBot trying to get stuff to work here. Something... Whatever's preventing me from even running these actions as a test could be what is preventing the thing from actually firing off as it's supposed to. Fucking StreamerBot, man. I mean, it's a great tool, but I'm just confused as to why this not seemingly doing quite what it's supposed to. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I'm gonna try to see if I can get to the bottom of this. I mean, I can add the points manually if need be. I'm just quite confused as to why that would be a thing. This is an excellent photograph. This is the best Q photograph I was able to find. I dare you to find a better one. I do believe that this is the cover to, like, a book. I don't know if it was, like, a Desmond Llewellyn autobiography or something. I remember I saw it and I thought, well, this is perfect. So, do this. Oh, wait, hang on. No? Why does this not... Okay, I'm gonna try... I'm gonna try restarting StreamerBot, maybe? But why is this... Boy. There's always something. The thing is, I don't want to, like, let go of it because I'll forget it. And I don't want that to happen. But I don't understand why... This would not... Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Save here. I'm gonna restart StreamerBot and see if that somehow... helps. I think I haven't been paying attention... Maybe the... okay. The Twitch sub... Oh, okay, now it looks like we can... Fast. Okay, there we go. It worked now. The test button was not grayed out, so hopefully, hopefully it's gonna work from now on. That's weird. Well, good thing we looked here. So I was reminded to look into this and make sure it worked, I guess. Trooper, what's up? Greetings. Alright, okay, we've been staring at this screen long enough as I was doing troubleshooting. I think we can move on from here. But there is... I still haven't quite fixed all the functionality, but as you can see at the bottom there, you can type Q in chat. Exclamation mark Q, rather. And that will... bring up the current funding status in the bottom panel. So if you're curious to see that status while we're playing, it'll show up there. What I haven't done yet is make it so that it'll also give you the amount in chat. I know how to do it, I just didn't get around to it because it's a little bit finicky. I'm bad at, like, scripting. But I'm going to try to get that up and running sooner or later. So, back to License to Kill. James Bond is out on his own and out for revenge. Let's take a look at some of these box art and documentation and what have you. So this is not the exact same, but somewhat similar, I think, to one of the movie posters. But there's another box art that seemed to be more used for more of the other versions. This is the DOS version, I guess. Pretty mangled box here, but we got some screenshots here. Amiga version. Commodore, I guess this would be the Commodore 64 version. Yeah, the scan, you can tell that it's like all that it's all like lumpy and buckled, because there's a plenty of spots here that are all blurry because they're like further away from the scanning bed. Timothy Dalton plays James Bond in the movie, but in this adventure, you're the star. The powerful drug czar Sanchez has murdered your best friend's bride. You're out to take him down. Show no mercy as you battle him on land, at sea, and in the air. You'll need to take the controls of helicopters, planes, and tankers. Perform death-defying stunts in midair. Even water ski in your bare feet. In your bare... Oh, okay, well, whatever. The breakneck action closely follows the James Bond film, including an exhilarating helicopter chase, underwater pursuit dodging harpoons, a high-speed demolition derby with 18-wheel oil trucks. So that would be the finale, or part of it anyway. Here's your license. The rest is up to you. 6 increasingly dangerous levels, movie-like storyline and action, colorful graphics, and realistic animation. Yeah, Domark put out a series of Bond games. I would say they're like the first of 3 companies that had like a string of Bond releases. Domark put out a bunch of them in the 80s and early 90s. And from the late 90s, there was a stretch of EA releases. And then in the 2000s, there were a whole bunch of Activision games. With some other ones on a random in between. Alright, we have some instructions. The aim of the game: become James Bond in his latest adventure and destroy the evil drug smuggler Sanchez. Die 007 as he fights it out on Cray K over Miami Bay and underwater on his way to the final confrontation in 18-wheel oil tankers. I guess that's what they mean when they talk about tankers. I kept thinking they meant ships. I don't remember that from the movie. But, yeah, I guess those are tankers. Defeat Sanchez and give Bond what he wants most: revenge. On every level, you'll have a control panel on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll always be shown the number of lives you have left. You'll also see important information about the level you're playing: number of bullets, amount of oxygen, time remaining, etc. At certain times, a reticle will appear telling you to jump, shoot, etc. Press fire to do this. Once you have mastered each scene, improve your score by going around again, but this time it'll be much harder. Alright, I think the other versions have more detailed instructions. So let's see what we can find. Right. So this is the cover art that's featured on... There's like, on Moby Games, there's like 8 versions with this box art, and just the one that had the other. I kind of prefer the... Like, I don't think either of them are great. But I like the color scheme of the other one with the white, black, and red, like the one you see right here. It's got the big, like, what's his name? Sanchez, like his face in the background. Like, the only thing I really don't like about the white box is the picture of Pam and Loopy. You want to fuck off is what you want, I think. Not interested. Thank you. Like the obvious, like the composition with the square at the bottom with them just slapped on there, it looks very cheap. Like if they had been sort of incorporated in the layout, sort of like they are in the big, like the blue box that we're looking at, I'd like it better. In fact, even this whole little thing on the corner, even if it's like crudely cut out, like just incorporating that in the corner of the other one, maybe, I don't know, but literally just removing the picture of the girls, I think would make that cover a lot stronger. Also, it has the actual License to Kill sort of logo from the film. This one is just, I don't know, kind of generic looking text. James Bond is out on his own and out for revenge. Driving that home at least. He's used to getting what he wants. This time he wants revenge. Yep, they continue to drive that home. So this, of course, is also the picture that was used prominently. We'll get to that eventually, but for James Bond: The Duel for the Mega Drive. But there's quite a few games before we get to that. But of course, even by the time that movie came out, because there was such a gap in between this movie and GoldenEye, this was still the most recent version of Bond, like movie-wise. Here we go. So we get a lot of the same text here, but we do get some more instructions here. So, Scene 1. Bond and Felix Leiter swoop low in their helicopter over Craighead to prevent Sanchez escaping with his beautiful girlfriend. Avoid all tall buildings and shoot out the gun emplacements as you gun down his jeep. Remember, the faster you fly, the lower you go. So that seems like an important hint. That's the kind of stuff we need to be very mindful of as we read this. There's going to be these kind of mentions in passing of like extremely crucial game mechanics that are not obvious at all when playing. So part 1 of scene 1, 1-1 if you will, is some sort of an airplane shooter section, it sounds like. Or helicopter, rather. Part 2. Bond leaps into action and sets off on foot to catch Sanchez. Watch out, many of Sanchez's henchmen have been deployed to ambush you. Duck and shoot your way through while collecting extra magazines. That's right, limited ammo. Watch out for the oil barrels as they explode after 4 direct hits. Okay, another good hint. Can you make it back to Felix in the waiting helicopter? Your wits and your 15-shot Beretta can make the difference. Part 3. Bond is lowered by rope from the helicopter as Sanchez attempts to escape to Cuba in his aircraft. Tie 007 onto the back of the dodging plane and attach the tow rope. This sounds insanely sick. They would make a level out of this like elaborate stunt. Remember, Felix can't guide the pilot if you're in the clouds and time is running out. Position Bond directly over the tail of the plane and press the fire button to lock on. Not as easy as it sounds. This sounds extremely exciting that we have like 3 parts here that are like, from the sounds of things, completely separate from one another, like in terms of mechanics. They all play all different. I've seen the first part because I've booted the game up and everything, but I feel like I have no idea what to expect of some of this other stuff. By the way, this entire stuff, like all of this, is the opening scene of the film. I can't remember exactly how it goes. I'm not sure if... But I want to say, like, I think all of this is, like, before the opening credits. Like, I think that's the opener. So it's like, we haven't covered that much of the film. Alright, let's see where we go from here. Scene 2. Part 1. 007 dives into the thick of it as he interrupts a drop by the drugs smugglers. They set off in hot pursuit, and Bond must swim for his life as divers are launched against him. Swimming underwater stops the boats from firing, but what about the divers? Destroy the drug caches for a bonus. Armed only with a knife, can you hold out until the drop plane arrives? So, yeah, this is like, I guess when... I'm trying to remember... That's when it, like, he gets on the boat, because they sneak on it later in the film. But I guess, yeah, because this is what leads to the whole water skiing kind of a thing. Yeah, I guess that's the next part here, yeah. Harpoon the seaplane's pontoons and you're off in a high-speed chase as you water ski barefoot behind the seaplane. Watch out, high-speed catamarans have been launched to catch you. Weave your way to the seaplane to gain control and escape. Yeah, I think this is still, like, in the first half of the movie. And then I guess 2-3 is the end of the film. You've destroyed Sanchez's drug factory. Like, that could have been a part of the game, you might think. But I guess not. Only to find he has escaped you once again. You must prevent Sanchez reaching the border with his drugs haul... It's so weird that they keep writing drugs in plural, but whatever. With his drugs haul stored in 18-wheeler tankers. In the chase sequence, to end all chases, you must destroy each tanker in turn until you reach the final tanker containing Sanchez. Be on the lookout. Sanchez has Stinger missiles to prevent you using your license to kill. Once you have mastered each sequence, improve your score by going around again, but this time it'll be much harder. So, it sounds like each of these levels or scenes are very closely modeled after parts of the movie, which I'm very excited about. But it's also like, I mean, I guess it's a trade-off, because it sounds like a lot of them are very distinct from one another in terms of how they function, which, you know, of course makes sense that if you're going to make completely different types of levels, it's harder to make more of them. But I feel like there's plenty of parts of the film that would have been cool that just like aren't here. Like obviously the big, like the thing at the factory when, you know, that sort of leads to this whole you know, oil tanker chase. Not there. Like there's the other, obviously the whole thing where he's going to, like he plants the toothpaste plastic explosives on Sanchez's armored window to blow it up so that he can snipe him. But right as he's trying to do that, he like gets assaulted by Shang Tsung's secret ninjas. Like, how is that not a level in a game? So that's like already a little bit disappointing that there's like stuff in the film that should have kind of been there. But at the same time, if all these levels are cool and they actually feel like they represent the scenes in the film, that might make up for it. But like I said, it seems, granted the opening scene is great, but it seems weird that literally half of the game is based on the opening scene, and like 80% of the game is based on the first like third of the movie, and then we just sort of skip to right at the end. But you know, whatever. Controlling Bond. Bond controls a variety of vehicles by moving left and right to dodge/steer. Push forwards and backwards to accelerate and decelerate. When running, aim by pressing the fire button. Aim by pressing the fire button to go into fire mode. Moving left and right moves the aiming reticle, and pressing the fire button again shoots in that direction. Push forward to continue running. At certain times, a reticle will appear telling you to jump, shoot, etc. Press fire to do this. So, what we basically have, I guess, from the sounds of things, is like a top-down version of The Living Daylights, where you can run around, but you have to stop running to go into shooting mode. I'm a little bit, I think this is like a top-down thing, right? That's what it looks like on the screenshots. Like I remember it being top-down, but I'm just thinking it might be getting confused with a different game. Like a top-down vertical scrolling kind of thing. Well, it sounds like it could potentially be a bit clunky, but who knows? Who knows? Could be great. Yeah, we're kind of seeing this. There's the status panel on the right-hand side. Bottom window displays the score/lives panel. Controls. I mean, yeah. We're going to be playing with our trusty fake Super Nintendo controller. It's been doing us alright so far. And yeah, it's designed for directions and a button, so that should be fine. Loading instructions, not really relevant. So I think, oh yeah, we got the back of the box of this version too. A smarmy looking Timothy Dalton here. Yeah, we got the top-down screens here. That's right. Oh yeah, I guess this is the part where you have to. This is Bond hanging out from the helicopter to grab Sanchez's plane, I guess. He's big. He's back. He's James Bond 007. Is that classic Bond trademark? He's big. Now, in a thrilling adaptation from the new movie License to Kill, you can take his place. License to Kill is a multi-level, multi-role game. You take the controls of helicopters, boats, and tankers, perform some death-defying parachute stunts, take to the seas for a spot of barefoot water skiing. There's parachuting in the film, but is that actually in the game? Well, whatever.
Steady aim and steady fire is needed. Shoot from the hip and take out the baddies. It's so funny the way this is written. It's action-packed and closely follows the latest adventures of the world's best-kept secret agent in the brand new and most exciting movie of them all, James Bond in License to Kill. Appearing now on a small screen near you. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, we got more instructions from like some other version. We got some Italian instructions here, but yep, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this game box doesn't lie. There's only one level. Yeah, well, there's photographic evidence here, right? There's well, these are from different versions, but you know, we've had the levels described to us in detail with explanations of mechanics and screenshots of different locations. Looking at the screenshots, I guess the various levels are perhaps not going to be as mechanically distinct from one another as I'd been sort of hoping, but I think we'll see greater variety and a better representation of the film than in Live and Let Die. I think that's safe to assume at this point. Best kept secret agent didn't work out the way they thought it would. Well, I mean, I appreciate the effort to not call him the world's most famous secret agent. I think the world's best kept secret agent is, I don't know that it makes sense logically or grammatically, but it, you know, it sounds interesting. It's not as much of an immediate oxymoron as the world's most famous secret agent. That's up, Spiritual Chief. Yeah, big Bond. He's ironically enough, I think he's going to be even tinier on screen than in some of the games we've played so far, but he's big in spirit. A little bit of a GTA vibe. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Up Dread Jester, that is C64 version does. Yeah, I'm always excited to hear people like having memories and experiences with the games we're playing, because especially for the Bond stuff, there's a small handful of games in this list that I have played as a kid or that I have some familiarity with, but most of these games I'm going in essentially blind. So by all means, like, feel free to share your experiences, and if you have hints or anything like that, I'm more than happy to take advice and support, because I think I'm gonna need it anyway. All right, let's you know what, let's just bring this back on screen here while I do a little bit of setup to see if we can get the game running. My controller here first of all. Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but like I said, it's
unspeakable horror awaits you.
It sounds like cooler, less stupid than most famous secret agent. I don't know. Thanks for the sub, Socrates. I appreciate that. And hey, the little funding thing actually seemed to work. So we're up to 15,500. We're getting closer. We're getting significantly closer to 20k. Starting to sweat here. I need to do some research. Getting that top secret bonus mission #1 up and running. But today we're going to focus on License to Kill. Nasser 2, what is up? Greetings and welcome. I've only played PS1 and later games. Been fascinating so far. Yeah, I think that's probably an experience that a lot of people have, right? Once we're getting into, you know, the late 90s onwards, it's going to be stuff that people either have played or at least like had a passing awareness of. And, well, there's going to be a lot of stuff that people have no clue about because there's a lot of mobile games. And I would say Bond stuff, even like up until the sort of Daniel Craig era, like basically, I guess the window of time right there is like the Pierce Brosnan era, where movie games, like of any era that have had Bond games, like movie games have never been a bigger deal than they were during that period. Bond, I think, like coming off of GoldenEye, I feel like Bond as an institution, as a movie series, was like at an all-time high in terms of, well, not an all-time high, but certainly more so than it had been since the start of this, from the early 80s onwards. Like, Bond was like huge in the kind of mainstream, and you started seeing so much more kind of cross promotion, whether it's like advertising stuff,
game adaptations, you know, whatever. So it makes sense that like even if you had no interest in Bond stuff personally, the games that came out in the kind of the Pierce Brosnan period would be the stuff that you would have seen kind of in your peripheral vision, if nothing else. So those, once we get to that period, that's where I expect to see a lot of games that people have very like strong attachment to. But I think even people who would have considered themselves like big into some of these games, we're gonna see stuff that even those kind of people would be like have no idea about, which is gonna be fun. Professor KV says, play the ST version. Looks like it's probably pretty much the same. Yeah, I think it's... I mean, I'm no expert on ST stuff, but in my experience, my very limited experience, it seems relatively kind of unusual that there is a massive gulf, like, between Amiga and Atari ST. Like, it's not inconceivable that there are versions... Like, I feel like it's not always the case... What I'm trying to say, that the Amiga version is superior. It's more so that like a game would either be built for the Amiga and had kind of a pared down ST port, or it would have been built for the ST and would have had kind of a no frills Amiga port that didn't really add anything. And I'm sure there are probably some examples of games like that where the Amiga version is in one way or another just inferior. But I don't know. I would say, from my limited experience, there rarely seems to be a very interesting difference between them. But I guess, you know, we shouldn't take that for granted. All right, give me a second here. I will be setting up here. Just gotta find my floppies. Usual, we have a couple of different releases here. We'll just these. Here. And I guess we'll just I'll load up the one that doesn't have the name of any cracker groups or anything in the file name. That might be a clean rip, and we'll see if how that works out. So Atomic Runner, don't think I said hi. Yes, we're on Mission 7 of our 007 games. Game number 007. Should be the best one, right? Game port 2, gonna be my USB gamepad. And okay, let's see if my capture is set up to capture the right thing. I think it is. See if this... Yep, that looks about right. Why buggy thing? There we go. Appears to be capturing that correctly. Let's fade out these jams. See if the actually manages to load something. Hey, that looks promising. Let's get the timer on screen, shall we? Oh, I just remember this music now. Turn down just a smidge. Yeah, we're getting into the unhinged Amiga like cover versions music. It's gonna get wackier than this, but pretty good title screen. Pretty nice digitization. Operatives. Okay, so this game got it right. The top score is 007. The top spot on the list is 007. You notice, like, it went from like 001 up to 007. Pretty good. I mean, the original, the very first game that we played, it didn't have a high score table where 007 was at the top, but it did give you a 00 rank where 007 was the highest rank you could get, so got the idea right. Pause, bit, and yes, these are all developer initials, I'm sure. We don't get the fully, like, we only get initials, so we don't get the full names. We get the full extent of Britishness. But I'm sure, yeah, Boz Boswell, Paul Margrave, Marcus Goody, Chris West. I've seen Britisher names, but that counts. Obligatory Amiga panpipe samples. I mean, gotta have panpipe. So, trying to inspect the HUD there to see if we can learn something. Kind of cool, just seeing a track mode like this in an Amiga game feels pretty unusual. I mean, obviously, they're not like showing every different level from the game or anything like that. But you get the impression of, we see a little bit of gameplay, we see the title screen, we see the scoreboard, like, just having it sort of switch through these scenes in that like kind of smooth way. Not something I would take for granted. Score bonus. Helicopter with number 4, I guess that would be the lives. We have the altimeter, is that what you say that? Altimeter? Height gauge. And I guess the green part is like a map of the level? I don't know. Let's press the fire button if I can find it. Oh. The Amiga fade out. I would think every button basically would be bound to fire, but maybe not. Oh. Bond. That's pretty cool. I'll do the transitions. Oh, that's right. Sanchez's Jeep. Okay. If it was something about going faster, like, or lower if we're faster. Gun emplacements. I flew into the building, I guess. This is, I guess, just going to be that kind of, I guess I crashed into the trees. Okay. This is just going to be one of those games where we have to learn the arcane secrets of the game. Okay, so those little huts are gun emplacements. I hit a palm tree? Maybe? Okay. I'm starting to feel like the assumption has to be that we can crash into literally anything. Anything that isn't just soil is a potential lethal danger. Game is not messing around. Yeah, the funny thing is, like, I don't know about the altitude. It's hard to say that, like, having much of an impact on anything. Because, yeah, my bullets just seem to, like, you know, collide with stuff. So the palm tree looked like it's higher up than the little hut there, but it didn't look like I hit the palm tree. Also, like, am I taking? Yeah, the damage thing is That's what I was gonna say. Like the, yeah, I guess the helicopter thing, the image there is getting. It's like it's getting skeletonized. But the vehicle version of that. Okay. Clearly, the altitude does matter. Yeah, the altitude is connected to my speed. But if I go slower, I go higher. Maybe my bullets connecting with stuff is like a hint. It's like so unintuitive because it doesn't at all feel like you're at that height. Anytime you crash into something, it's like I can't internalize that I'm going to crash into those little structures because it in no way seems intuitive or reasonable that you would crash into them. And you can't aim left or right, you know? So I mean, you can move left and right, but you can't aim independently of your position. Oh, every goddamn time. 1989 Amiga game design. Very, very British. The Sanchez also shooting at me. Like, it's sort of impossible to try and like... Yep, he is shooting at me. Okay. Like, do I need to keep the Jeep on screen? Can I just fly ahead? I feel like you basically just want to map out where... What the... Okay. So basically, if you're going at anything other than the slowest speed possible, you'll crash into fucking... waist-high... whatevers. Going too fast. Yeah, the thing is, like, obviously we can, like, outrun him. I mean, it's the opposite is much more difficult. Although, I guess you want to be, like, again, if you're at anything but the slowest speed, you'll crash into anything and everything. So, but what I was trying to get at is having him on screen is a liability in the sense that he's going to shoot you. Maybe you want to just go faster. Avoiding bullets. See, like, oh, bullets just spawn like 2 inches away from you. And if we go any faster, speed is so strange. I guess one thing that would be... that would help... get us... What the fuck was I... Like, I'm above the roof. And then 1 second later, I explode. Like, if I can be above the roof, clearly I'm not crashing into it. Except just a second later, I just do. Maybe I accidentally tapped a diagonal, so I sort of tapped forward a little bit. So I went lower. Alright, so now I do have to catch up. Also, like, the speed and... Oh, jump. Okay, so I just have to, like, get to that part. I guess maybe, yeah. I guess we made it to part 2 of scene 1. Because we're supposed to, like, continue the chase on foot. Okay, so we can kind of ignore... Where the fuck did that bullet come from? But at least this stage seems, like, this part of it seems really short. But you could conceivably learn the pattern to get there. Hypothetically. Might be rough. And that's the thing, too. The C64 version is the one that, as I mentioned, has, like, the biggest shot at being, like, distinctly different, but also, like, of quality. But I wonder if... I don't expect it to be any easier. Dude! Alright. So the bullets, like, if I slow down, the bullets fucking curve. I was gonna say before, like, it would be nice if it had, like, a shadow or something. There actually is one. Okay, I didn't even realize before. Okay. Jump. Okay, we made it. Loading, I guess? Oh! Oh, shit, that's where... Okay, I didn't see where I was. How does aiming work? Why am I always aiming to the left? Suddenly fucking Rick Dangerous. Okay, so that's my health bar. Oh my god, okay. Oh boy. This is atrocious. I have limited ammo also. Oh my god, this is... Holy shit, okay. So I hold the fire button, and I hold left and right. Oh, and he's like sniping me right perfectly in between the barrels. Why did... Oh my god, why can I... Like, why is it not defaulting me to aim in, like, the direction... Like, it's keeping the aiming direction. Except when it doesn't. Oh. Never game over, right? See, like, if I had infinite lives, maybe I could, like, have some patience of... I'm just, like... I'm upset at, like... how they would think this is like a cool design, because it's so clunky. It's unbelievably clunky. Yeah, we didn't make it onto the high score table. Because you have to, like, you can tap the fire button. I guess you don't have to hold it. You tap the fire button to go into firing mode, and then you hold left and right. Like, you start aiming over that way, and then the aiming is like super, like the sensitivity is all fucked up. So it's really hard to aim, and you can't walk around while you aim, of course. So trying to, like, fine-tune the aiming of hitting one dude while 4 of them are shooting at you, and you can't, like, dude, if you just had, like, let me just shoot in the direction I'm aiming. Like, keep the aiming shit, but let me at least default to aiming straight ahead. Like, the bizarre part is, like, the aiming... The aiming seems like it's... Dude, the speed is so fucked up. You have to, like, push against the scroll, like, the point where the screen is scrolling to start going this fast. Otherwise, I'm just dipping down. I'm not actually going faster. I'm only changing my altitude. Yeah, like, up and down doesn't actually change your speed. It changes where you are on screen and your altitude. But if you're moving... But see, now we're actually moving at, like, full speed. But if I slow down... You have very limited and inscrutable control over your movement speed. Because now we're actually, like, going fast, right? I can't really go faster. I can go... But now, see, I start going faster... And if I start pushing against, like, the edge of the screen, so to speak, as far as I can go forward, and then I slow down, then I'm, like, stuck at that part of the screen, and I have to move that far up again to go that fast again. It's like, the more you play it, you're realizing weird ways in which it's, like, totally busted. So basically my strategy is to not touch the up and down directions so that I can actually maintain this speed. See? Yeah, okay. Yeah, just do that. Just completely ignore the Jeep. Outrun it. No, you have to hold the button, otherwise pressing a direction starts walking again. Oh! Alright, I don't usually rage, but this is legitimately infuriating, just in like, oh, that was my last life, of course. Because you have to go through like significant effort to like come up with and design this system. Like the aiming is screen relative. It doesn't matter which way you're moving or facing. Except you can only aim in like an 180-degree sort of window. So I guess if you're facing downwards and you press the button, because it definitely happened at some point. I was like locking in my aiming direction, and I was expecting where the reticle was going to be, but then I was moving in some other way and the reticle was not there. Yeah, see? I'm aiming up, and I move over here and I press fire and he's aiming up again. Facing left when I hit the button, he's facing up. But if I'm facing down and I press the button, now he's facing downwards. Yeah, you have to be like very careful and strategic about your aiming. I think you have to press the button twice because the first time just goes into aim mode. There's this dude fucking in the car that I had to reload. He's just invincible, I guess. How am I supposed to walk past him? It takes like 2 minutes to figure out how to shoot one dude. Alright, we got a little further. It's basically a puzzle game. I wonder if... Oh, you can, okay. None of them dropped clips, okay. And then start walking around too, like, making it so much harder. Sure, I'll just have him walk away, that's fine. Okay, sure, this works. So there's something about the barrels, right? Can I shoot any of these barrels? Reload. You're stuck in place while reloading. Yeah, 4 shots. I shouldn't be taking cover behind the... Ooh. You might as well try to find out if, yeah, if they start running. Probably moved about as far as he's going to. Ah, okay. That's good progress, though. That's game over. Just, that's, you know, the things that we can really take to heart here. Walk close to them and see where they end up. Like, don't try to shoot enemies before they've walked someplace else. And there's no timer either, I guess, right? So 4 lives to get through every level, though. Might be a bit rough. Especially since I'm sure every level is going to have its own kind of puzzle-solvey aspect. Alright, but yeah, just make sure never to change your speed / altitude and just fucking don't care about anything. And that stage is fine. Oh, fuck, that's bad. Oh, boy. Maybe I need to... Ah! Thought I had a better grasp on this stage, but have him start running away. Yeah, he just basically leaves. Do my pre-aiming over here. Right, I'm like 1 HP left. Actually walk diagonally through there. Kind of a weird sound effect, but still pretty satisfying. Whoa. There's like a weird delay before the shot comes out too, because you have to like... it's just one button press, but you go into aiming mode and then you shoot. Oh! Shit, I couldn't avoid it. I like that the Jeep doesn't respawn. Fuck. Can't find a safe spot. Shoot while running, too. Crazy. Still only taking 1 hit. Somehow. Oh! Dude, I just got... I literally could not move. I guess that's game over. It's reaching the point of getting somewhat more satisfying figuring stuff out, but... Ooh. It's still... I mean, we should... I have other images which I'm sure have trainers. I'm curious to see what... I think like going... like having infinite health would make it a fun, casual stroll through the game. But just having infinite lives so that you can sort of figure out a level at the time and not have to redo, because like even if we master that level, it's definitely going to be a bit tedious to have to redo it and then reach a level that we're like have no idea how to survive. Sure, let's just jump on the roof there. Dude, how many fucking bullets? Okay, maybe I guess the damage The damage you do to the Jeep probably carries over between lives. It has, yeah. Okay, that's... But now at least I know that, because I was getting confused. I kept thinking, like, no, but I'm able to take it out on one life, but it turns out that the only reason I was because I wasn't actually doing that. Oh, and I fucking walked into a shot. Yeah, I have to scroll very carefully. I didn't even see that guy. It's a PB? Might be. I was gonna say, is he gonna take off? Okay, he is. Good. I had to reload. I think I did that. The tiny little dudes are so hard to make out. I need to, like, not be tempted, like, resist the temptation of trying to shoot him as they're running away. Running in circles? Oh, whoa, they're multiplying. Dude, how did that miss? Yeah, okay. That was bad. So there's like a time bonus. Fucking hell. And he stopped there. Weird. Well, this is a... This is a bust. You're really stuck in place uncomfortably long time when shooting. Like, there's a long delay before the shot comes out, and then you're stuck in place as well. Like, there's sort of a timing and a rhythm to how they shoot. So you kind of want to make sure that if you're going to send them running, that you don't send them running at a timing so that they fire off their shot right as they're kind of walking around the corner. Hit you. That was bad. Yeah, there's some kind of a cover idea. Oh, that is where he's going? He went further. But yeah, a mess is a good word for it. It does appear that they can't blow up the oil drums, at least. Like, literally running away from me and, like, just spawning bullets going in my direction. Like, and he can shoot through there. I reloaded. Like, getting through that corner is really awkward. Like, the collision is precise, which I guess is in the thing. Thought I'd shot him, but he was hiding behind the magazine. So we get the "You Only Live Twice" music. Well, not quite. We made it to the high score table. Like, I can get used to this, but at the end of the day, there are situations where you can kind of make use of the aiming, but it's incredibly awkward because again, there's so... You press the button, you go into aim mode, and then he shoots, and then if you're holding a direction, there's still like a little bit of a delay before you can move again. Well done, James. Your 00 number is 1. Enter your code name. Wait, can we type in more? Nope, I didn't. Okay, well, I guess we can't. Fine. Manually hit the enter button. I'll give this one more go before we take a break. Actually, I realized my scheduling is a bit off. I probably should take a break right now because we started late, but that's fine. We'll give it one more go. Like, it's kind of satisfying to know that this stage is actually pretty easy. It's just really stupid. It gives me some hope that the rest of the game might have a similar trajectory. Okay, I'm taking more hits here, though. Oh, never mind. That's the end of the stage. I didn't realize. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Felix. Decent bonus there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Ah! There's so many fucking bullets! Fuck. I'm trying to find a way to make more headway on the Jeep before I die. But that was kind of the opposite. He didn't stop now. Well, maybe it's because the Jeep isn't there. Like, basically, I want to see if I can get rid of the Jeep on my first life. That would be nice. Reload! I was stuck because I was reloading. Like, the way they can always fucking shoot through the tiniest gaps that you cannot. That's, like, maybe the most infuriating thing, because that's what makes the whole strategic cover sort of aspect very difficult. How did I not hit? But, I mean, just getting them in motion in general is pretty fucking hard. Whoa, that didn't actually hit me. That did, though. Like, it's just so hard to know when it's safe to, like the shooting patterns are so erratic, and the bullets are fast enough. Reload. No, there we go. That it's really hard to make, like, necessary adjustments on the fly. Just, I don't know, you have to just, I don't know, tactically run away. Create as much space as possible so that you have time to react to where you need to be to avoid bullets. That's really what it comes down to, I think. It's really easy to sort of trade hits like that. But yeah, anytime you trigger... Ah! I held diagonal left, so I got stuck on the wall. But yeah, trigger them running away. and then great distance. Can hit like the left barrel there, and that'll still work. I didn't even see that guy. Like, I don't know if there's going to be more guys here than before, but I guess if it's like that, they're easy enough to take out. And in case it's not obvious, I have to be extremely focused on this. So reading chat is not really very easy. Weird place he stopped. Yeah, there we go. I guess I stopped the scrolling. That prevented him from running. I'll hide over here. I can catch up with you. Yeah, I lose bonus for taking longer. But, like, that's fine. Can't believe I did not get hit there. That spooked me so bad. It'd be interesting, like, pushing against... Because the triggers for them running away seems to be completely based on, like, just the vertical axis. Oh yeah, now we're... Oh! Okay, I actually scrolled further so I can see them. Sniping here. Oh. I was accidentally facing downwards. Oh, I got stuck reloading. Okay. That guy's actually... Okay. You don't want that guy to start running. Because that is bad news. But that was a solid improvement. I feel like I have a... The very beginning of the stage is the worst part with the Jeep. I think I still do want to aim diagonally to the side to shoot the Jeep, so I can sort of dodge in and out of cover. I'm not sure if I want to make the guy on the left run first, because I think that until I get the Jeep out of the way, he's not going to run off. He's going to actually stay in the middle, where he's going to have an easier time shooting into the little, you know, alcove that I have. So that's probably not... But after that, like, if I'm just careful, I can get to that part. And I don't know if the first stage is any indication. The stage might not be that long. So, it could work. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back. More James Bond. Just a couple of minutes. All right. I just realized I didn't pause the timer. Whatever. Let's see if we can remember our tactics. Get an even better score. Yeah, it's really the early, like the Jeep thing. That's the trickiest part, because aside from that, I feel like we are slowly inching forward. Like every single enemy, we're kind of figuring out some sort of strategy for, which is, like, again, in itself kind of a neat idea that, like, I have to consider specific individual yeah, the bullets that the enemies shoot are completely, like, screen relative. It's not like they have actual physics or inertia or anything. No, okay, I can get him to run. Dude! Ah! You're not safe anywhere. Fuck, I don't think I hit a single bullet. The bullets fucking get caught on everything. I was aiming down. See? Like, there's a fucking boat behind me or some shit. And my bullets are getting caught on it. This part is the worst. I wonder if I can... That guy, yeah, that's the thing. Like, that guy might shoot while he's running. Not really safe. Shooting right in between. Alright. I still basically landed all my hits on the Jeep. Because I didn't really have much Jeep damage going into this life, and I still only took one hit. That was good, but it's not good that it took me 2 deaths to get to that point. Like, that sort of makes it moot. Alright, I kind of need ammo. Oh, all the corners! Oh, what's up, Lemty? Game is just ever so slightly completely maddening. Wait, he's not supposed... Yeah, there we go. He's not supposed to stop there. Say, I just need to push the screen upwards. There's no reason to push up against his little corner. So many bullets. I need to try to snipe him in motion. Yeah, see, I can be safe on the left side while I make him run away. Yeah, like a very, very typical stock gunshot sound. How did I deal with that guy before? Ah! Classic James Bond getting stuck on the scenery. I was gonna say, I'm not safe there. See, now I took 2 hits in this section, and there wasn't even a Jeep. That was just bad. If only the enemy bullets were, like, a little bit slower, that would make a huge difference, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do to make this a little more agreeable. That alone would make a big difference. Like, your movement speed and their bullet speed relative to one another. Makes it kind of a dicey proposition to try to avoid anything. Like having to be so precise and position, and the magazine's like obscuring enemies and bullets. It's a minigame compilation. Not exactly. It is a multi-level, multi-genre game, or whatever they call it on the back of the box. We've only gotten so far as to part 2 of stage 1 so far. The manual describes a lot of different scenarios, but from the looks of the screenshots, everything kind of takes place in this similar top-down vertical perspective. But there's more vehicle sections. There's essentially 6 levels, and that was level 2. This level seems super hard, because controls are surprisingly convoluted with adjusting speed and altitude. Basically, the trick is to not care about that at all. Just dodge left and right, and get to the end. Yeah, that was stage 1. And now stage 2, with the most convoluted aiming system. I started accidentally aiming, like, I was thinking, could I at least get the Jeep on that life? Because the Jeep, for whatever reason, doesn't respawn. Yeah, I literally had 1 hit left. See, and now I lose another life. I'm, like, flustered, so I can't speak. Bond, for some reason, defaults to aiming 90 degrees to his left. And you have to stop to aim forward at the beginning of every life. And like the first screen of the stage being the one that's like the most filled with enemies and a extremely armored Jeep, makes it pretty rough. The scrolling makes the bullets move weird in this stage too, I just realized. Yes. Respect. The actual sort of the tactical aspect of it, I think, is actually cool. I'm enjoying that. It's literally the aiming that sort of messes it up. Because the aiming, it also makes it so that there's this delay to your shots. Because you have to go into aim mode. Yeah, oh, the bullet's drifting when you push the screen forward. It's just like the erratic bullet patterns. But I can stay safe over here, I think. We'll lose bonus points, but that's fine. Reminds me of the one Rambo game. There's a couple of those, but yeah. What's up, Hippo? You like the character shading? Would you have preferred no shading for the sprites? I think the art's pretty cool, but it's a bit... everything has kind of similar levels of like detail frequency. Like everything blends together a little bit. Like enemies don't exactly stand out, whether it's for color or texture. So sometimes, like... Okay, but I kind of take... Well, not really. Here we go. Just make one of them run away. So I can stay here and slowly adjust my aim. Use the bullet to get that aim sort of locked in, but... Yeah, I can't shoot around corners because bullet spawns from, like, the center of your sprite. Nope. Oh yeah, you have limited ammo too, of course. Locking in the aim is really tough too, because of course it is, for no good reason. Alright, I'm gonna This is not explodable. I guess if you tip a barrel over, it's no longer explosive. Bottom corner. There we go. That's so weird. Like, I don't remember getting sort of stuck on that part. How did that hit me? But getting stuck there is like almost consistent now. Ah! The way their bullets just find their way in between every little nook and cranny when you're like, it's the exact opposite for you. Like, Bond himself as well as his bullets just get caught on every little thing. And the enemy bullets just like perfectly snake their way through tiniest gaps. What? Why is there a guy on the barrel who I can't hit because I'm hitting the barrel? He was on the barrel, so he didn't die when it exploded. I'm just upset because like I felt like we had really smooth progress. It's now being completely undone. Like once I get to this part, it's usually kind of fine. Again though, because like the kind of bullet patterns and or the timings for how they shoot is sort of random, or at least unpredictable. Can't quite, like nothing is certain. You can see the impact. It's not anywhere close to Bond's body. Oh, that's a game over. Collision detection is not exactly on your side. Try again. The thing too is like, even if, let's say the Jeep section, even I can get a sort of a strategy for it, I feel like I still am going to have to execute on that strategy. It's not going to be a gimme. Ooh, I'm taking a lot of hits here. Can't really afford to die on this stage, I feel like. But this is the end. Alright, we got it. An explanation for why pan flute are so ubiquitous? No idea. Maybe it was just included or like easily accessible and it just happened to sound nice. People like using it. I don't know. Like even trying to be slow and tactical here, like not really helping. Maybe that's the thing. I like to like trick them into shooting further to the right. Missed all those bullets. Because they do kind of have a like a time, like an aiming sort of time where they adjust their aim to where you are. Getting him out of the way, because I don't want this guy standing on my left. Oh, I hate that it's so hard to find a place in that gap to stand. Like, taking 2 deaths to get rid of the Jeep is, like, just not okay. And now I'm dead here. I'm, like, losing all my focus. Look at how much he's shooting. Like, what the hell is this? Like, some guys just fucking have machine guns. Like, there's no predictability or consistency. And again, if enemy bullets were just a little bit slower, you would have so much better chances of, like, adapting to that. But because they aren't, you don't. I guess 3 magazines is the max. Well, luckily the limited ammunition doesn't really come into play much. Go. See, like, it just... Like, the bullet's just getting caught on all these corners. Oh. Right, this part. Yes, now there's, like, not a whole bunch of dudes here, at least. Left. Crap, that guy's not gonna move. That guy is the guy you want to get before he starts running. Alright, this is officially a PB. We're on our last life, by the way. That's fucking scary. Shoot, please. He didn't shoot much, that guy, though, so that's nice. I had a feeling he would come around that way. It's actually aiming for the barrel, but I'll take that. Hear that happen? Oh, stage is not ending. Oh, fuck, well, there's... Reload. Okay. Looks like it could be the end. I mean, Nothing to say it will be, but visually it looked distinct with the road. Dude, you saw those bullets just going through. Dead on the next hit. Ooh, actually, I did make him run there. Will that actually help me? To say. Scrolling, making the bullets shift. Yeah, looks like a runway or something. Ah! God, that did not hit me. I feel like that must have been close to the end of the level. But at this point, like, there really is only a couple of kind of choke points. A little bit exhausting, though. I mean, half an hour ago, I didn't feel like I would be able to make this kind of progress, so... But I'm sure we're on a very similar trajectory as something like Living Daylights. Where at some point you're like, hey, I can get through the first half of the game pretty fine. And then it's like, well, now it's just the impossible half of the game left. Okay, I'm taking a lot of hits. Well, we're fine. I have no reason to suspect that things are going to get any easier. Can't aim, be facing downwards, or it's not gonna work. Alright, okay. 4 lives. Jeep's gone. Like, any additional progress / practice on this life. But ideally, I would learn to take out the Jeep and have enough HP to get through the rest of the level on 1 life. Just not bloody likely. Fucking machine gun Willie over here. It's also the way, like, the pivot point of his kind of sprite when he's sort of rotating for facing different directions. Like, oftentimes I stop while facing left or right to shoot, because if I'm already aiming directly upwards, it's kind of locking that direction in. But the sort of center of his sprite, or like where his gun is, can kind of change in a somewhat unpredictable way. So that also like contributes to making it a little harder to lock in. So soon enough, I'm going to either hit him or hit enough barrels to get rid of him. Huh. Well, I'm on my last HP here. Ah, yep. Again, like, you have to commit to the shot. Hate this part so much. I'm dead. Like, why is the first screen the hardest? In Amiga, British game design. Again, like, the ability to squeeze in between corners, which is, like, necessary, but also weirdly difficult. Like, once you get to this part, it's, like, pretty relaxing. Because it's, at least... There's, like, sections of 1 or 2 screens or nothing too crazy is likely to happen. If you have enough open space in between yourself and an enemy, it's usually like easy enough to dodge stuff. But I mean, that's a big if. Doesn't happen very often. Yeah, the fact that they might still shoot at you while running away makes it pretty dicey to try and have them sort of lock in their new position. It's definitely tense. For good or for bad, you might say. Yeah, this part's... Ah! Yeah, they didn't line up like this before. I aimed. Accidentally aimed. I'm on my last hit. The other guy's gonna come around on the right, but I think I didn't scroll the screen far enough forward for him to... It's like probably stuck up top. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's just do that. Load. Magazine. I feel like it would be okay if your bullets were slightly faster and their bullets were slightly slower. You can see the reticle popping up, and like if you start moving too quickly, you sort of cancel out of aim mode. So you have to like stay stationary once you start aiming. Iframes would be nice, yeah. Again, these like more open areas with larger distances like this are so much easier to manage. Run around this, I forget. But yeah, like same thing. Like I'm getting through a large chunk of this without getting hit. Not like I'm gonna be able to use this much ammo before I die, but... Nice, okay. I didn't quite mean to do that, but... You can see the trouble I'm having aiming as well. Huh. Okay. I guess the guy that was here before is someone I took out earlier this time. PB. The shadow of some kind of aircraft. I did that over there. We did it. I did like 3/4 of the level with no health. Shit. What do we do? Oh yeah, we gotta align ourselves with the back of his plane. Felix can't be like in a cloud. I'm just gonna try to put Bond over the tail wing. Is that what you call it? And just mash the fire button, hope for the best. Oh! I think we did it. We grabbed Sanchez's plane. So the level of difficulty is a bit uneven. Okay, that was scene 3. Okay, now we have to... Can I just... Alright, let me just open the emulator settings window. I guess that pauses the emulation. Oh, my heart's racing. Okay. Let's pause the timer here for a moment. This fucking game, man. Well, we've cleared half the game. We cleared the opening scene of the film, so that's half the game done. Let me get back to the instructions here. See if we can there we go. Let's actually read what we did. Bond is lowered by rope from the helicopter as Sanchez attempts to escape to Cuba in his aircraft. Guide 007 onto the back of the dodging plane and attach the tow rope. Remember, Felix can't guide the pilot if you're in the clouds, and time is running out. Position Bond directly over the tail of the plane. Press the fire button to lock on. It's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it kind of is. Well, I mean, it's easier than any of the other levels. Or maybe we just got extremely lucky. Who knows? 007 dives into the thick of it as he interrupts a drop by the drugs smugglers. They set off in hot pursuit, and Bond must swim for his life as divers are launched against him. Swimming underwater stops the boats from firing, but what about the divers? Destroy the drug cache for a bonus. Armed only with a knife, can you hold out until the drop plane arrives? Okay, so I guess get to the end of the level. Does the button make me dive underwater? Like the description makes it sound like you would like be above water or underwater and like still be able to see / control Bond in either I was gonna say form, but in either position. But here I guess I don't know. Well, I mean, like I said, maybe you press the button to dive. The controls don't really. The controls just tells me that the space bar is equal to fire. There's no like the fire button does this. I don't know. But I guess it sounds like we're just going to basically have to move around and dodge things. And I guess we have a knife, so the button probably knives? Oh, okay. Press up to dive. Make a little splashing noise. Oh, those are the drug cache, the little baggies. Oh, I need to knife them, I guess. Maybe don't get hit by a boat. Okay. I got hit, I think. Oh yeah, I have like some kind of air supply. Fucking Amiga-ass HUD that's like indecipherable. due to all these like custom graphics for each level, which is incredibly sick, but just not incredibly helpful. It's also unclear if that oxygen meter is... Oh, it does move. I was gonna say, is it like decorative? Am I supposed to catch up with the plane? And if so, am I completely fucking up by changing my speed and affecting the scrolling speed? I guess I died there. Okay. If the blue box there is supposed to have some kind of health indication, it sure is not as easy to understand as in the last level. I saw something flash by on that. Oh, I got hit there. When a diver got close to me. Oh, I collected a harpoon. I see. Okay. I was thinking maybe I need to harpoon the plane. Doesn't seem like I can catch up with it. Oxygen does refill at least. That's nice. Our last life, by the way. But the instruction made it sound like it's just a matter of survival. Not a matter of catching up with the plane or reaching an endpoint. I mean, who knows how trustworthy that is, but you know, that's what it said. Light speed bullets. Game speed seems a little more variable in this stage. I wonder if I can harpoon a boat. So that means that bullet speed is also kind of variable. Oh, that didn't seem to have much effect. I guess the lesson we can take, if any, is that we can't really make any assumptions about how quick it's going to be to beat a level. Like, in terms of how long the level is, I mean. Because that seems to be varying pretty drastically. Like, the first helicopter level is really short. Gun level is short. Bonus is still counting. Trying to harpoon the dude. Oh, I was holding up, but I was out of oxygen. At least you don't fucking drown. I really wish I'd be able to see how much health I had in this stage, though. That sure would be helpful. I wanted to move around the boat, but I should have just been ready to hold up to go faster. Well, we made it to 002 rank. It's kind of tough just knowing that we had to get through the shooting stage again, and it's not like the length of it is like the most grueling thing either. It's just that the beginning of it is so difficult. Let me hydrate. It's so funny that they took like the melody from You Only Live Twice, but then they like changed it so it's not that song. They put it in, like the License to Kill theme is not in the game. Well, not so far. The game is pretty cool though. What's up, Arthur? Hold on, James. You're one of our top operatives. Former. Ooh. Let me reread what it said. Yeah, just armed only with a knife. Can you hold out until the drop plane arrives? That seems like it would sort of indicate that we are meant to catch up with that plane. Because surely there's not going to be like a different plane. Part 2, it says, harpoon the seaplane's pontoons and you're off in a high-speed chase as you water ski barefoot behind the seaplane. I mean, I guess, even though that description is under part 2, it's not inconceivable that that is meant as an instruction for the end of part 1, and you have to fire a harpoon. Because, like, it could very well be that the stage was just looping, right? So I should definitely try to get a harpoon. I guess maybe I was firing at the center of the plane, right? See, the guy on the left is sniping me. I landed some shots on the Jeep, though. You're aiming to the... I forgot. Fucking perfectly missing everything. Of course. This is already not a good run. I was not safe there. Okay, now the level can start. I got fucking hit. I'm getting overconfident. Why is he standing there? It's a weird place for him to stand, and a bad place for him to stand. Alright, that takes care of that. Yeah, difficulty level British. Also Amiga. Game's pretty cool though. Oh yeah, timer. I think that probably makes up for having it run during the break. I mean, not that it's like a very exact thing anyway. Oh, nice. I actually did get him there. Okay. This is the part that I'm a little bit dicey on. The strat is here. Yeah, sometimes their bullets just literally go through the barrels. All I can think of is if I can squeeze through here. I cannot. At least I think if I move over here, I can kind of have them aim. Could I have pushed the scrolling and have the guys move further? I don't know. Ah, don't want to get hit here. How did I get hit 5 times total there? This is a shit show. Why is the first screen the hardest? Well, whatever. Like, I was just about to intentionally get hit, but I accidentally got hit before I could intentionally get hit. I just wanted to start over. I'll see how many more attempts I have in me. We might not go very late tonight. Might be a shorter stream, because I've been, as I mentioned before, I've been a little stressed out recently, and I'm feeling that this game is maybe not helping with that. Oh yeah. I wish there was, I don't know, like a continue feature or something. I mean, I guess being an Amiga game, we should be thankful that we have lives, more than one life. Anyway, right? I mean, that was insane in The Living Daylights, where
Most versions of the game like have 6 lives or 7 lives or whatever. Maybe it was just 5, but a couple, you know, a handful of lives. And then in the Spectrum version, you get 1 life. Insane. There's like 1 pixel you can stand where your bullets actually can get through. Yeah, if you move to the far right, your bullets get caught on this white thing, which I think is a boat, behind your back. Just absurd. Mean to aim there, but okay. They have to shoot so much. Yeah, we'll just like just these 2 guys. That's fine. I mean, I guess we should be grateful also that the Jeep actually does not respawn. If you had to take out the Jeep on every life, that'd be pretty bad. It's like bizarre that it doesn't, because nothing else behaves that way, but I'll gladly take it. The scrolling affects the trajectories of the bullets in an entirely unreasonable way. As if dodging this shit wasn't unreasonably difficult as it is. I'm just looking at them over there, how they're like piling up. Yeah, maybe with this part it is kind of nice to try to get rid of some of the stuff before pushing forward. But I don't know, maybe it doesn't make a difference. Actually hit there. Works. So now there's no crowd of dudes there all of a sudden. Well, if his bullet isn't getting through, mine certainly isn't. Assume a gamer stance here. There's like 3 guys. Okay, sure. Wait. Going where I thought he was. Be able to hit that guy, the white shirt guy, I think. There we go. Gonna go right at me. Ah! It's weird that that guy, like, the movement didn't quite trigger for him to start running around in circles like that earlier. Okay, got rid of that guy. See, that's how you want that section to go. Nice and easy. And even, like, manipulating the enemies sometimes, like, weirdly inconsistent. Because, like, it's definitely tied to the scrolling. That was pretty stupid. But, like, you can sort of, you know, you can make them change sort of, phase or whatever. You can, like, trigger them and move into their next position.
But even like in the middle of that, they can kill the bullets. A little needless. Ah! Getting stuck on scenery. James Bond die of bonus depletion? No, I'm pretty sure we finished the stage with 0 bonus before. It's really iffy because of this, like, simultaneously aiming is debilitatingly slow, but when you're trying to lock in the right position, it's also, the reticle is also moving too fast for you to really aim reliably. That's not gonna. I usually, it's always scary, but he's usually actually not that difficult to deal with. I think that's the first time he's killed me. It might not be the first time he hit me. Probably the first time I've taken a death. Can't believe that didn't hit me. That's funny. It's just like hard to get through here without taking hits somewhere, but it's not at all consistent where I'm taking that hit. The scroll. Of all the things that frustrate me with this game, I think the fact that scrolling affects bullet trajectory is like the thing that frustrates me the most. I don't know how obvious that is if you're not playing and just watching, but it is infuriating, let me tell you. When you have to be this precise. And the thing you're precisely trying to dodge, like moving in strange, unpredictable ways. I was aiming for the barrel, but him run, I guess. Oh, there we go. Still just on one hit, that's pretty good. Nice, got them both. Nope.
Mega Shock, Neo Geo!
With how complicated it is to use a gun, no shit, you need a license to kill.
A very good point, Atomic Runner. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that guy's gonna run away. Run somewhere, I should say. He's gonna go in a circle, or he's gonna. Just thinking he's gonna be a liability. There's at least one more. Yeah, he's gonna come around here. Okay, we got him. We got him. Like, whenever they're moving, that's definitely bad. Once again, I was thinking I would hit the barrel, so I shot 4 bullets right at once. My aim is really bad. I keep hitting things when I don't expect to. Somehow keep hitting the exact same spot. Good. Whoa. Okay. A little box right next to the Jeep that I guess I was hitting. Looks the size of about a shoebox. But it was still blocking my bullet. A lot of bonus, but that's okay. We don't really care. I meant to shoot until I reloaded, and then I didn't reload. I'm such an idiot. Do that now. Load. Almost at the end. I have like 3 HP left, so. I have not hit. Dude, that was super fucking scary. I was reloading. You can't move when reloading, by the way. And reloading happens when you try to fire with an empty clip. That's right, I forgot. You just have to touch the helicopter. We did it. On our last life. Oh, alright, there's this level. I don't think you can, like, die here, though. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just, like, try to align Bond with the tail of the plane and mash. So instead of landing at Felix's wedding, we land directly in hot water, I guess you might call it. Okay, so try to get a harpoon and shoot it at the plane's, whatchamacallit, the pontoons. Get the lever there. Yeah, dude, like, I guess you could probably clear the stage right there if you have the harpoon. No, I fucked it up. There we go. Oh, I'm definitely dead on the next hit. Where's the fucking goon? Okay. Oh, so it's like just okay. It's not like a transition to a different stage. Okay. It's pretty sick, but also what the... I'm assuming I'm supposed to dodge everything. I'm holding up, try to reel in. I think we did it. Okay. That was pretty sweet. I didn't expect that to be like a seamless transition. Okay, final stage. That was a stage, apparently. Okay, pause the emulator. We need to consult the manual. Ah. Ah. Harpoon the seaplane's pontoons, and you're off in a high-speed chase as you water ski barefoot behind the seaplane. Watch out, high-speed catamarans have been launched to catch you. Are those the yellow circles with the black X on them? Those catamarans? I guess so. The other things were rock. Weave your way to the seaplane to gain control and escape. Dude, imagine trying to play this without a manual. You would have no idea that that's what you're, like... Well, you could have watched the movie and, I don't know. I guess we lucked in... I mean, I guess I speculated that was what we're supposed to do even before double checking with the manual. So maybe it's not that crazy. But even the this part, the airplane catching part, if you haven't seen the movie, you wouldn't instinctively think like, oh, I have to align Bond with the tail, and I mean, I guess there's only so many things you can do. Pretty cryptic. Anyway, yeah, we've made it out of the opening scene of the film, and we are now in the ending of the movie. We have off screen, in between levels here, we have destroyed Sanchez's drug factory, only to find he has escaped you once again. You must prevent Sanchez reaching the border with his drugs haul stored in 80. Okay, so I guess it's a chase here. We have to keep up. You must destroy each tanker in turn until you reach the final tanker containing Sanchez. Be on the lookout. Sanchez has Stinger missiles to prevent you using your license to... Are we... I guess we're driving a tanker. It also made me realize that out of the 6 stages, there's only one walking around shooting dudes stage. Like, I was kind of expecting this to be a game where you do that, but very briefly, for once, I mean, it's the longest level, I guess, but it's 1/6 of the game. Okay, so destroy each tanker in turn until you reach the final tanker. We also have to prevent Sanchez reaching the border with his drugs. Okay, so what's the HUD information here? We have a speedometer. We have a picture of a truck, which I guess is our health bar. I paused it right before, like, it's still sort of transitioning into the scene, so I'm guessing like the life and score numbers are going to get filled in there. Let me look at the manual again. I'm just looking at it on my own here. Status panel. Underneath the 007 logo, which I guess there is a 007 logo underneath the License to Kill logo. Underneath the obligatory Amiga game title on screen element, a systems panel is displayed which changes with each stage. This gives the altimeter, radar, ammunition rounds, countdown timer, oxygen level, takeoff speed, and miles to border in sequence. Okay, so miles to border. I suppose. So that's like our countdown. And we have to destroy each, like, I'm a little unclear on what we do. We can move around, of course, but can we like fire projectiles? Like, I'm a little scared because I know that we're gonna die very quickly and it's our last life. But I guess, oh shit, okay. We're in a plane, I see. Wait, how do I destroy a tanker in a plane? Oh, no, I dropped... Okay, there we go. Now I'm in a tanker. Okay, I guess that wasn't him. Okay, it's counting down. Alright, my tanker's already... taking severe damage, it looks like. Well, I destroyed that one. What the hell do I do in this stage? What's up, Trap? In fairness, what the hell do I do in this stage has been a fairly consistent emotion throughout this experience. Your mobility is not really much increased here, and your vehicle is gigantic. We came up, like, there was the other tanker, and I guess we could, like, rub up against it and bump into it.
for all I know, we could have been taking more damage than it was. And, like, how many tankers do we have to destroy? This says, you must destroy each tanker in sequence until you reach the final tanker containing Sanchez. It's a little bit vague. But I'll be honest, I was certainly not expecting us to make it to the final stage of the game. Within 2 hours. And stage 2 is still really the run killer. I don't know. Bit of a break. Well, like the first stage is easy. The third stage is trivial. The fourth stage, once I figured out what I was supposed to do, I mean, we only really got to it that one time, and I cleared it without taking a death. So technically, once I learned how to do it, or what I'm supposed to do, I've not yet died in it again. That's stage 1. So that's, you know. In stage 5, we also cleared first try. We hit already. Can we get rid of this guy? I guess this is the better strat, because now these guys can't hit me. Makes way more sense. Okay, it's going to be a little trickier to take out these guys now. But not too bad. Reloading. There we go. Okay, I think I have a better strat for this section now. 4 lives and only 1 hit here. With a little bit of luck, we could clear the stage. You need a little bit of luck for a lot of things in this game, I feel like, but... Yeah, it's just funny, like... It seemed impossible and absurd. Like an hour ago. Reload. Shoot. There we go. Thing is, though, like, it's not exactly getting any less frustrating. Good death scream, I like it. Ah! Useless, needless hits to take just because I'm fucking getting stuck on scenery. Well, sort of helps us, maybe. Fine. Get my aim in here. Ah, wasn't expecting to have to deal with. Okay. Great shot here is going to make it easier to align. That's aimed. Surgical precision you need to actually hit. Oh, this is bad. Bad. Next hit is gonna kill me, so... Fucking shoot, please. Go. Gently aimed. Whoa! Alright, and that guy who's standing by the boat, the one who I think will start to...
run around in a really bad way if you don't take care of him. Even the fact that you can shoot downwards is like, when is that ever going to be useful? It's like the game sort of remembers which way you're aiming, regardless of which way you're facing when you're entering aim mode. Except if you're facing downwards when you go into aim mode, you maintain your like horizontal direction, so to speak, except it's sort of mirrored, so it goes downwards instead. And, like, yeah, when would you ever shoot downwards? I feel like... Yeah, I probably can't kill him. Like, if they can't shoot you because they're not on screen far enough. Ah! I should not have second-guessed my direction there. They also can't, like... They can't get hit. They can't shoot you. Dude, why is his bullets, like, fucking light speed? I had some bad luck early on. But yeah, this game is just really tense. Just sort of demands perfection. Let's have that guy run off better. Walked into that bullet. Back on scenery. Maybe that's my second biggest frustration after scrolling, moving the bullets. Go. Hitting different barrels every time, but there we go. Just reload. Whoa! This part tripped me up a little bit. No. I'm probably better off. Yeah, see, they're fucking shooting through that barrel anyway. Get rid of it. I don't think the angle will let me actually hit that guy. Hydration in a second. Reload again. There we go. The other guy's on the left here. Gonna come around. Fucking of course. Okay, nice. Okay, that's a good way to take out that guy. This is an angle that I don't think he can, or at least doesn't likely try to shoot you at. Apologies for not being able to keep up with that if it's happening. Whoa! Anything there was very intense. Alright, I've only taken 2 hits. Pretty good. Alright, let's not jinx it. Yeah. License to drink, yeah. Whoa, that was needlessly close. I want to take out that guy because he's going to cause troubles. Okay. Reload. Dude, imagine speed running this stage fast enough to actually get a bonus. Imagine being able to aim. Just in general. Going, but I don't. Oh, maybe. No, I don't think. I was gonna say I don't think there's any more guys who are gonna like running around obstacles get in front of us. Because ironically, like that's kind of the biggest threat. Them just in the open, moving towards you, because they can kind of aim and shoot, you know, as freely and fast as they want. You have to stop and aim. Reload. Yeah, at some point in the first time we got here, there's like a guy standing in the road. Wherever he is, we managed to not replicate that happening again. Alright, this is basically the end of the level. A few guys left. This guy look fucking invincible? What's going on? Nope, my bullet's just colliding with the shadow of the helicopter, I guess. Got him. Alright. 3 lives. Stage 3. Let's catch Sanchez's plane. Like 2 minutes to do it. Yep, there we go. Got him. You get 2 minutes. It usually takes me, I guess, 15 seconds. Assuming the timer starts at 2 minutes. I'm not sure. Yeah. We're past the most intense stage. But this one is reasonably intense. Well, it's kind of weirdly intense because you don't see your health in this stage for some reason. Maybe it's visible on something that I have not been able to yet comprehend. Should have gotten the diver. Get us. Alright, let's get this guy. Got the harpoon. Did I aim correctly? I did. My aim was true. Yeah, so this is stage 4, by the way. Cleared stage 3. And we're in stage 4. Yeah, right, I need to reel in. I don't know if I have, like, limited health here. There we go. Cleared stage 5. Now we're on the final stage. And I don't know... Just... we died? What? I guess I touched something? Dude, oh, fucking diver was in the way. I was trying to shoot for the... I drowned, I guess. Oh my... The manual calls these 2 separate stages, but I still have to do both of them in one go. I guess kind of makes sense. Like, you have to get a harpoon by killing a diver, and then you have to fire it at the pontoon of the plane. And everything's just like time. Everything just happens at random. There we go. up. All I had to do last time. There we go. Fading out. Why did that not work the first time? Something must have killed me. What? Wait, what? It didn't work this time either. What is going on? I'm at a loss. Cryptic Amiga Gaming strikes again. I thought the game had been successfully screwed, fully scrutinized. 007 License to Kill, however, remains inscrutable. Like, we reel ourselves in. You see the little Bond sprite's hands basically cover the thing. The music fades out as if you have cleared the level, and then the level restarted. Like, we did it before, and I cannot conceive of what we did differently that it didn't work. Twice in a row, even. Let me see what it says. Harpoon the seaplanes, pontoons. Well, actually, let's read both of them. 007 dives into the thick of it as he interrupts a drop by the drugs smugglers. They set off in hot pursuit, and Bond must swim for his life as divers are launched against him. Swimming underwater stops the boats from firing, which is not true. You can dodge bullets, but it doesn't stop them from firing. But what about the divers? Destroy the drug caches for a bonus. I guess it does make it clear that you should destroy them, not collect them. You have to knife them. Armed only with a knife, can you hold out until the drop plane arrives? Part 2. Harpoon the seaplane's pontoons and you're off in a high-speed chase as you water ski barefoot behind the seaplane. Watch out. High-speed catamarans have been launched to catch you. Weave your way to the seaplane to gain control and escape. Like, the only thing I can think of is I'm at the top and there's like an obstacle being spawned at the top of the screen that's hitting me. But you can't see it because it's all covered up by the plane, and that just happened to happen twice in a row. But I'm nervous now because when we got to the final stage, I was like, you know what? The stage 2 is the only real trouble. Everything else seems simple enough. But now I'm not so sure. And now I'm like, well, who's to say that the next 12 attempts won't stop us in the same spot? Ugh, I don't know. I'm enjoying the trajectory we've seen with so many of these games, though, where they come across as incredibly impossible off the bat. Then, you know, you spend a little bit of time with it and, like, you know, it's maybe only slightly impossible, maybe only inscrutable. But, you know, for all we know, even in this game, the final stage, like, let's say we play this with a trainer just to, like, check out the final stage. And actually, yeah, I was saying before, like, it would be nice to have a continue or infinite lives, but even just having a level select so you can, like, practice levels individually with the limited lives and everything, that would be perfect. So you don't have to, like, struggle with every, or even just, like, even when there's not even a struggle to speak of, just having to go through the motions of playing through all stages before you can practice the part that you want to practice. Like, it'd be nice to not have to deal with that. So maybe we'll check out trainers next time. I don't know. But what I was going to say is, even if we could conceivably reach, I mean, we got to the end of stage 5 with 4 lives, I think. 3 lives at least. And because I have beaten stage 5, even if I don't exactly understand why we didn't this time, it is not inconceivable to think that we could reach stage 6 with at least a couple of lives. But then the fact remains, like, we don't know what clearing stage 6 really entails. So if stage 6 is, like, prohibitively impossible, then, you know, maybe the game is a bit messed up, a bit jacked. But at this point, given the amount of progress, the smoothness of progress we've seen tonight, I'd say, you know, it's chances are pretty decent that we'll actually be able to clear this next time. I would say it is within the realm of possibility. Maybe we shouldn't be get overly confident, but within the realm of possibility, I think is a fair statement. I'm excited to give this more attempts to see if we can do it. I'm excited to check out the different versions. I'm excited to use whatever cheats we have to actually see the end or whatever. I bet this game doesn't have an ending for speaking of. Surely it's just going to be, well done, James. In fact, the manual does seem to imply that the game's going to loop, because it says, like, after mastering the stages, like, keep challenging them, but it's harder. Like, it doesn't seem to, the implication is not, you know, try the game again for a higher score. The implication seems to be, you know, keep going and it's going to keep getting harder. And if you look at the high score table, if we got 18,725 for getting to the final stage, I mean, sure, maybe you could get up to 30,000 in the final stage. But even if we get a few thousand more bonus points or whatever, 50,000 within loop 1 seems questionable. Unless clearing stage 6 gives you like a 50,000 bonus, which I guess is not possible. I've seen crazier things. But yeah, I think on Saturday we will explore more fully what this game has to offer and try to take a look at least a handful of different versions of the game. Even if we finish the Amiga version, I'm still gonna wanna, like, it's not just a matter of finding the one version that's gonna actually let us finish it. With some games, it's a little bit like that. But it's a cool game. I would love to see what these stages look like in the CPC and C64 versions, right? C64 version might have some sick music. Like, if there's a Commodore 64 version of a game, we are morally obliged to check out that version, because it is a very high likelihood of hot jams. So, I mean, you should check it out for that, if nothing else. The HUD score counter has one more digit than this high score table. That's that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good way of making you feel, I don't know, inadequate while you're playing. Well, 16,524, 18,725 is our highest score yet. You know, we made it to 003 status. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But I think this is all the Bond action I have in me tonight. A little bit shorter stream, but I'm a little bit tired. It's as simple as that. But I think we made a good, you know, stream's worth of progress in this game in just under 2 hours of game time. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. What else is going on? Well, I don't know. I guess we will probably watch a movie on Saturday. I still haven't, so busy, had time to think too much about that. But I will probably try to set up a poll for movie night tomorrow. We don't have any new Bond movies lined up, because we'll definitely be spending Saturday playing this. And even if we're completely done with this game by Monday, I'm probably going to want to not immediately jump into the next Bond game. So we have a little bit of a buffer there. So we'll probably watch... what is the next one, actually? Let's take a look. I think it might be The Spy Who Loved Me? Yeah, there we go. 1990. We're gonna get into some real weird dank shit pretty soon, by the way. But this is gonna be the next game after License to Kill, which means this is gonna be the next Bond film that we watch. But like I said, probably not on... So I guess I should... Well, I'm trying to think. We'll see. Keep an eye open on Discord. Movie nights happen on Discord. We usually watch video game-based movies on Saturday nights. We watch Bond movies as they come up in Games Bond. Sometimes, at least once, we have done that on a Saturday. Otherwise, we might do that on a weeknight. But if you're interested in joining watch parties for some video game movies and /or Bond movies, just hop on into the Discord, check out the Movie Zone, and find out all about it right there. But yeah, I'm currently trying to piece together who we might want to be raiding here. Trying as usual to see if there's someone we haven't been raiding all the time constantly. But I guess that's the tricky thing when you stream at the same time. There's usually the same people who's also streaming at the same time every week. You know what? Let's see. Icarus is doing Mahjong month. It's been a long time since I raided Icarus, I'm pretty sure. So why don't we do that? See what's up the Mahjong month. I'll be back on Saturday, hopefully a little more well-rested, ready to take on License to Kill. But until then, take care. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.